what's up, lads and ladies? Brad the Fixologist here. In this video, we're going to take a look at this. This is my daughter's MacBook Air, and we have a charge cable that is apparently not charge cabling. Now, I've got it plugged into my Variac, 121 volts going into the charger, and I've got 0.2 watts of power being drawn in total. There, oh, there it went to 3. You see it jump? So there's some kind of short right here. Watch. So there it's going up. You see it, the more I move it around, it's going, there's 6 watts, 7 watts, 8 watts, and then it goes back down. So we definitely have some bad connections here. Might even have some bad connections on this end because she's got this taped up on this end too. I don't want to have to buy one of these chargers if I can avoid it. But man, this cable is really jacked up. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get this charger apart. This one actually, look at this. I don't know what she did. I think she had, I know what it was. She had a power strip down on the floor and had this plugged into the power strip, and she dropped a necklace off of her head, and this thing, the power strip was kind of sat up sideways like this, and the necklace kind of fell down and shorted these out, and so it smoked it. I don't think that's burning is not from this charger. That burning is actually from a necklace or something briefly falling on the thing. So I think that's what it was, piece of jewelry. So let that be a lesson to you. Scared the hell out of her. I ran upstairs and like it was an ordeal. Lots of screams. I'm gonna chop this off here because obviously it's doing nothing anyway. I think the biggest trick here is going to be getting inside of this thing, because I don't see an obvious way to get inside of it. This might take some trial and error here. Oh goodness gracious. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, very, very sad. So what we're probably going to do is cut this cable back somewhere around here and re-strip it and try to fix it. I don't know if this is going to take, or if this is going to work, or how it's going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. I've never tried this with an Apple product like this, but I know this comes apart. We've got some solid piece here. This plastic is continuous from here through here. So we are going to have to pry this apart somehow, and I just don't know if I quite see how this is going to be done. Not easily, anyway. This might be ultrasonically fused, these two halves. I doubt there's clips or anything holding this together. It might be, like I said, ultrasonically fused. Let's see if we can get a screwdriver or something in here to pry them apart. Because, I mean, it's going to be a lost cause probably without getting these pieces apart. And if I was smart, I would probably just do what you're undoubtedly doing right now, which is check YouTube to see if there's a way to get this open and repair this before going forward. But I'm just going to take the hit for everybody, for the sake of science here, and see if I can't get these pieces apart. Let me close this MacBook before we actually do damage to it. I'll get this down off of the desk here. It's also going to go ahead and cut the end of this off. I guess this would be a great time if I really wanted to fix this properly. I would just change out to a completely different cable. That end right there is pretty chewed up, but it's not as bad as the other end. I think this is probably still workable. I will have to shrink tube this whole, and you can see it's all peeling off right there also. Yeah, there's no obvious way to get this apart other than just prying on it. So prying and forcing and praying is probably the way we're going to get this thing apart. And probably some screeching and screaming and gnashing of teeth as well. I need a sharper screwdriver. Let me see what I've got. Okay, I've got a couple of these. Let's try one of these here. These are pretty blunt though. It's not really what I wanted. Oh well. Okay, there's a start. There is a start. Okay. I probably should have driven right here on the edge, just to avoid getting down inside of there at all. But I don't know. I might have missed anything important. Let's do on this side. It's probably a good spot right there to beat on it. We got it in there. Let me see about coming around here and prying. There we go. Yeah, I probably should have just gone that way from the beginning. Okay, hopefully you can kind of see what I'm having to do here. I'm having to just come around the perimeter and sort of pry. This right here does not want to come up. And this is the kind of thing, when you're doing something like this, the kind of thing you always end up slipping and stabbing yourself if you're not careful with a screwdriver. So don't do that. Just be careful. Don't stab yourself like that, like I almost did there. See? You're going to slip and stab yourself with a screwdriver. Even though it's blunt, it's just probably hurts even worse because of that. This part back here has to come apart. There we go. There we go. Okay. So that got that enough to get these pieces out too. I don't care about this, and I mean, if I can get those back together, I will, but I'm not worried about that. That's not my objective here, to save that or to salvage that functionality. I just really don't care. Just trying to salvage the electronics. Yeah, this is why Apple, I just do not like Apple products. I mean, look at this. It's all glued in here. So it's like ultrasonically fused and glued, epoxied together, where you have to break it to get it apart. So, you know, it's just, It's just anti-repair. Everything Apple does is anti-repair, and this is just another example of that. Okay. Okay, yeah, you can see the glue. You can see the shielding here. You can see the glue. But it looks like when we were opening it, we missed anything important. So, yeah, right in here is probably a good place to pry, like right here by the inlet. It's pretty far away from anything important, and plus there's a shield right here on this side. On this side, you do have a couple of capacitors that you could hit on accident if you went too far. But if you are going on this side, you probably wouldn't hit anything important because there's a shield, big shield right there. I do need to probably take this shielding off. So I don't know. I might have to take all of this off. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pry the rest of this off if I can. It's kind of just taking this piece out instead of prying the rest of this out. This might be pretty tricky. This shielding has got what looks like a seam here. It's prying up. See right here, there's two different sheets that are kind of folding over one another, and then there's a piece of tape here, so it looks like I can just probably pry this up. Pry these two pieces of shielding away from one another and cut that tape. There we go. Just cut this piece apart right here. You should be able to pry this up and the other side up. Okay. There we go. This is some kind of 3M product, this shielding. Or is this double-sided sticky 3M? I don't know what that is. I don't know. But this obviously has to go down first because that's non-conductive, and then this will go down and shield all of this. But these wires, do we basically just have two wires and a shield? Or maybe one wire and a shield? Is it just coaxial? There are 4 pins on this end right here, 4 tiny pins, but this looks like to me it's coaxial, because that's, you know, that's all we've got coming out, just a white and a black. Really need to get this other side off so I can get to the bottom of this board. That would be ideal. I just really hate this kind of setup, this stuff like this. Why does Apple do this? I don't get it. Why would they have done that instead of just making the, you know, just making the power brick solid? Could have made it a little easier to get into also. Would have been nice. Okay. There we go. So this is what was holding it right here. So I just got in here and popped that loose, and it looks like the whole thing is now prying off of it. I think I can get the whole thing out now, possibly. I need to get under here and pry up this this adhesive. Get right down in here. If I can get all the adhesive, definitely I'll get the whole thing in one shebang here. get under this with the screwdriver. And I need to go gently and slowly because I don't want to crack I don't want to crack the board. I just want to get it all up in one swoop. There we go. Yeah, look at this stupid shit. Look at this. They just glue it all in there so you can't get it open. I mean, there's no other reason to do that other than preventing you from getting in there and solving a problem. Okay. Right here they have this soldered. They have this lead. This negative lead right here on this capacitor is soldered to the shielding. I'm actually going to try to leave that. But let's see what we've got for these two wires coming in. So we do have a black wire. It looks like a single wire, and we do have a single white wire. So this is just 2 wires coming in. Right there on that and right there on that. So let's desolder this and we'll get this off and then we'll cut this back and see what we're dealing with on the cable. Get all this old solder out of my solder sucker. It's full of crappy old solder. Man, my iron is heated up to the normal temperature. I don't understand why it's not. Doesn't seem to be hot enough though. I wonder if I've got it. Tight enough. Yeah, I don't know about this. This seems like some kind of higher temperature, higher melt solder. I might have to pump it on up some. I'm gonna pump my iron all the way up for this. I've got to just try to melt this and pull it out. I don't really see a better way of doing it. Jeez, that is not coming out of there. That is not wanting to come out of there at all. Instead of desoldering that and risking burning up this board or heating that up or heating up some of these components too much that are beside that connection, I'm gonna clip this. I'm just gonna go ahead and clip this here and clip it back past this damage. Okay. And I want to go ahead and excavate down here. I want to see if this is indeed just a 2-conductor wire that I'm dealing with. I suspect it must be just a conductor and a shield that's doubles as the ground. Yeah, that's what it is. It's just a, or is it? Or is it? Yes, it is. It was confusing me because we had some strands down here of different colors. We've got this wire with these strands inside of it, and there's some different colored strands. It's kind of throwing me off for a second there, but I think that's just some silk in with the wiring. Okay. Yeah, it's just a 2-conductor. Alright, so what I need to do really is see if I can get this wire out of this retainer somehow without messing up the wire. This is gonna work. I mean, it looks like I've still got wire all the way back to here, so I'm probably just pulling these wires apart, trying to do this. Well, no, that one came out, so that kind of worked. Oh, that one didn't though, did it? That one did not. Alright, I am just going to solder directly onto these wires. I'm gonna do that rather than risk damaging any more of this. Okay, so here's what I'm dealing with. Okay, we got our shrink tubing ready here. Yeah, this other end, we're going to shrink tube this other end for sure. And I'm going to cut this little doohickey off here because it's just kind of getting in the way of where I want my shrink tubing to go. Cut some of this back. I'm going to see if these are continuous first and just go ahead and test this before I shrink tube over this. So right now I'm doing the doing this lead, which is the shield lead, should be the ground. Okay, and you'll be able to see what the connections are here. So this this is a shield. You can see it's connected there. So we've got continuity with that. We also have continuity with this end pin. All the way at this end. We shouldn't have anything here, I don't think. I think that's probably going to be our positive. In the middle, though, in the middle pin, we have what looks like about 430 something K of resistance. So I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. The next pin is probably going to be a redundant positive, I would imagine, but there's nothing there now. And then the end pin is a ground again. So this one, both of the outside ones are ground, and the shield out here is a ground, and that looks correct. The middle is like a 500K or 430K resistance. I'm going to assume that's okay. Just out of curiosity, we'll see what this one is. All right. 1.3 megs of resistance to that center there. That's probably just measuring my body resistance. Okay, there's a direct short to that second pin and probably the fourth pin. Yes, correct. What is the middle pin? That one is about a half. It's trying to be about a half meg. Okay, so we do have. It looks like it's okay. It looks like it's okay. Let's get some shrink tube on that. I'm going to shrink that on, then I'm going to get another piece to shrink around the entire thing. I know this really doesn't look as nice as it could when you use a lighter, but I'm not worried about it. It just needs to hold everything together. I'm going to get a bigger piece of shrink tubing to go around that outside. Okay, and I'm going to fit one more piece over this and bridge these two bits together again. Okay, I had that one last piece, this big piece, one last big piece. I'm going to go even one more on top of that again. Basically, I'm just stacking the shrink tubing on here so it doesn't want to slip. All right, I feel a lot better about this end now. Let's focus on this other end. Okay, the retainer. Where's that retainer? Not 100% sure what I want to do with this. I think I would like to drill it out though. Go smaller than that to start, possibly. Need to get every little bit of metal out of there I can. Well, one of them is clear, but the ground wire, black wire orifice is not clear. Okay, did I get it? I think I got it. Okay, I think that got it. They look clear now to me. Yeah, I'm going to try to drill this out to a larger size here. Okay, I'm going to have to go slightly bigger still, I believe. Okay. I think I'm going to go one more larger. That's the tubing we need to grab onto that. All right, there we go. That's pretty good right there. So I'm coming out the other side of this with a larger hole. I'm going to put some glue in there to glue that to the retainer. Okay. Super glued that wire into there and hoping that holds. Yeah, the negative is just or the ground is just connected to the shield anyway, so it won't matter if it touches something on the shield. So I'm not worried about that. Really mainly just worried about covering up the connection for the positive lead. Okay, now we just got to connect up these grounds. All right, well, those are soldered. I don't know how well. They look terrible, but it is what it is. Let me make sure we don't have any short going on here between positive and negative. It's not a dead short. 237K. Yeah, I think we're good. It tells me there's no dead short, so. All right, and these wires are gonna have to, they're gonna have to kind of hide away up here somehow. Okay. And there's our retainer, and I think that's gonna squeeze in right there. Now what I'd like to do is get a little dab of solder over this area right here would be nice, where these two pieces were married together before. Clamp that like that, and then put a bead of solder right there. There we go. That's what I wanted. Just a bead of solder across those two pieces to kind of hold that together. Before we close this entirely up, I'm going to retest to make sure we don't have any shorts again. That's right. I don't want to short from there to there. 200. Oh, 296 is good. That's good. That's good. Yep. Okay. All right. I think this has got it. Okay. I guess I could go ahead and epoxy that up, but I really honestly don't care enough to do that. I'm gonna tape it because it's just not worth it to me to screw with it. Okay, let's give it a try. Actually, I'm going to assume it's going to work, and we'll just go ahead and shrink tube these last couple pieces of shrink tubing. Gonna fit up there, hopefully. There we go. Okay, there's one piece. I'll scooch this bigger piece up and go over the top of all of this, and hopefully that will be double strong then. Okay, it doesn't look good. I'll give you that. I hear you. I hear you. It doesn't look good. But I think that's going to work out. All right, I feel pretty good about that. Let's find that other piece here. Let's get her plugged in. Okay, what's it gonna do? Place your bets. Is it gonna charge? Oh, here we go.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like.
Hi, I'm Siri.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the Hi, I'm Siri.
Okay, well, it works. Awesome. So we'll let this charge. It is indicating that it's charging. Right there. So we are charging. Everything looks pretty good. 740 milliamps of current, and we're about 50 watts or so of power at 120 volts in. So everything is looking pretty good. I'll let this charge, and I think we have at least a working machine now. So yeah, that'll do it for this one. If you have one of these cables like everybody else in the world and they're frayed on the ends, this is the way you really have to go about trying to repair them. If you just splice it out here, if you tape it up or whatever, it's probably not going to work. You have to go to all that trouble and open the thing up. So hopefully this helps somebody. If it did, hit subscribe down below. And for now, we'll see y'all later.